There.
There's nothing in here.
Already done.
Thanks, man.
I want to go now.
I'm the curator, but it's our organization NFT. I'm glad you like it, man. Awesome. Thanks. Pleasure. I'm Jesse. Nice to meet you. Yeah, I think it's gonna be a regular thing, dude. Because we do this every week. We do interview artists from around the world, but today, just like right at 11 o'clock when I opened the doors, the room was already full. So it seems like this is something people. Yeah. Yeah.
What's that? Okay.
Nice to meet you, Joshua. Yeah, yeah. Greg built our
I'll
lead
have to
designer
figure it
built
out
this like
then.
the
You know.
idea is like this ancient civilization being pollinated by an alien race.
Okay.
They're coming and imparting knowledge and
I'll have to
intelligence
go.
to
I
us.
can go online and check to see what it is.
Yeah, for sure. It's got that vibe. Well, Greg designed Burning Man in VR last fall. Um, he was
What's that?
the lead designer on that. Yeah.
They must have
Glad
been
you.
Okay.
mad at this.
I'm glad you like it.
Oh,
Oh,
and this is
yeah.
paper.
Oh,
Hey,
This is
hold on.
toilet paper.
Hey, hold on. Cause why they got this
Okay.
one?
welcome.
Hey, that. Oh,
Welcome.
listen.
Hey, you.
Hey, hold
This was
on.
in the Bible right here.
Thanks for being here.
Yeah, I don't read no Bible, man.
This was in the Bible. We gonna do this?
Got a little something called the Bhagavad Gita. This my little move right here. This our
This your move
move
right
right
here.
there. Shit. Man, I can't wait till this COVID shit done with, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the NFT Oasis.
And let me tell
Our
you
event will
something.
probably be starting in about 10 minutes. We're just giving everybody a chance to kind of
This my
filter in.
move right there.
We're going to be doing an art walk where we interview the artists about their work.
Oh,
This is
awesome.
something we do every week. Welcome, welcome. My name is Caught a Ghost, Jesse Nolan. I am the head of product and culture at the NFT Oasis. This beautiful space you're
That's
here
all my
seeing here was built by Greg Edwards, our lead designer.
that's
We
all my
have a collection of
voice.
amazing artists around the world. This week is our first week doing erotica, not safe for work, of
That's what's up.
and I can already tell there's a lot of excitement in the air. So it's going to be a special and interesting series of interviews. Um, I'd like to give everybody, if you're new to AltSpace, give you an opportunity to take a second to like familiarize yourself with the controls, navigate around. If you're on a Mac or PC, F key will be your friend. If you get stuck anywhere, it allows you to teleport back and forth. Um, if you are having trouble, if you're an artist and you're having trouble unmuting yourself, you want to tap the control key and then click on your screen. That'll enable you to unmute yourself. So that's key because when you first spawn into AltSpace, you'll whatever direction you turn your head, um, it won't enable you to unmute your mic unless you hit Control and then click on your screen. That'll freeze your screen and let you unmute your mic. Flight is enabled in this world, so if you want to fly around, you can. Pretty fun way to experience the event. If you are on an Oculus headset, you can go into Settings, Items, then spawn a flight tool, and then you can fly around. If you're on a Mac or PC, you can't spawn a flight tool, but you can enable fly mode, which will enable you to just float in whatever direction you look. You go to Settings, Input, and then turn on fly mode. Settings, input, and then fly. That means so whatever direction you look, you'll just gently float in that direction. Um, if you are having trouble navigating, if you have any questions about flight or anything like that, feel free to ask the people around you. You guys can, they can probably help you out. Probably start in 5-10 minutes with our art walk. I'm just kind of taking stock of which artists are here and getting our little interview order together.
Yeah, it seems the flight tool is not being able to spawn. It just keeps setting the menu.
Oh, he cut out. That's cool. Did you set fly in general on the general
Yep.
option?
Mm-hmm.
Cigarettes for sale. Cigarettes for sale.
There you go. You got
For a
the dual
Maybe
dollar.
it's a
flight.
reset.
Yeah, you got
For
the
a
dual
dollar.
flight. Look at that. I'll do that too.
Brandon, always making money.
If you spawn
Cigarettes for
twice,
sale.
you get
Cigarettes for
two
sale.
different.
You
Now you're
gotta
gonna
give
sell
up my
vapes?
bit.
You
Hey,
gotta
you
sell
you
vapes.
ain't pay for that. Give me that shit. Nope. Give
Oh
me that
shit!
shit right
It's a
now.
vape rock. We're rocking this shit.
Give me
You
this
gotta get
shit.
the vapes.
I'm vaping this out. See, I'm
Didn't
gonna do this
mind.
again. Okay, there's another one. Yeah, now I got two of them.
VR?
Super fast when you got two of them.
Are you in VR?
Where does that sound?
Yeah, it should be in
Oh,
settings.
yeah.
It should be something.
Superman.
Yeah, I'll state settings somewhere. Yeah, and input, and then fly.
Oh yeah.
Welcome.
You see input and then it's fly. You gotta buy the cigarettes to learn how to fly.
$3 for a dollar.
3 for $1. That's a deal. Okay, so then once you have it on, then like if you press forward and like look up, you like start flying. Like whenever you would normally walk, and you like look up. Yeah, you got it.
Sorry, I'm a noob.
I'm making sound effects and shit.
It's yeah. He's like, it's amazing.
Motherfucker making sound effects and shit. Get the fuck out of
Your
here.
space looks great, man.
Yo.
Oh, thanks.
Motherfucker, hey, shoo. Achoo. $3 for a dollar.
Oh, can you hear me? Give me a nod if you can hear me. Okay, so if you're an artist and you're having trouble unmuting yourself, when you first spawn in on Mac or PC, notice that whatever direction you click, like the screen will move with you, so you can't unmute yourself. So you need to tap
Cigarettes
Control
for sale.
and then
$3 for a
click on
motherfucking dollar.
screen.
My bad. I took yours. I don't know how I grabbed that one.
Grab one of those.
Yes. You gotta pay $3
Thank you.
for this.
Oh,
$3.
well, there you go.
Yeah.
You tap Control and then click on the screen, and that'll enable you to unmute your mic.
There we go. Thank you kindly.
Listen, just know I paid $3 for that one. And I gave it to you.
Hey there, welcome. Have you figured out how to unmute your mic? I'm gonna tap
Hi.
Control.
Yeah.
Hi.
Cigarettes for sale.
Yeah.
Three
Can you
for a
hear me?
dollar.
Okay.
Three for a
Yes, I
dollar.
can. You can take
They
a
got
minute to locate
menthol.
your piece if you want.
Some I don't know. Grape.
Sorry.
They have grape cigarettes, right?
Oh, you making flavors up for cigarettes? That's crazy.
They got yo, bro. Those they got flavors. I think.
You're like they're just like Kool-Aid. It's the same thing. You just roll up some
Ew,
Kool-Aid.
don't talk about no damn Kool-Aid around You done lost your mind.
Hey, I think I made it, right?
Relay is nasty as hell.
Yep, you're here.
Man.
Perfect.
Yeah,
All right.
thank you.
All right, everybody. We're about to start our event. Let's start our event, everybody. I've gone ahead and muted the audience. So if you want to unmute, if you have a question for the artist, if you are an artist, you can raise your hand. Just briefly show everybody how to use their microphone. Quick. Oh shoot! I gotta turn on my fly mode. Hold on. Okay. Boom. So if you're having trouble unmuting yourself as an artist, tap Control and click on your screen. That'll let you unmute yourself. Fly mode is accessible when you click the blue triangle and settings, then input. That'll let you turn on fly. You want to show some love for our artist today. You can clap and respond. So you can do the heart emoji, clap. If you have a question, raise your hand, laugh, etc. So we're going to get started really briefly. I'd like to introduce our co-curator, Shaman, today. Want to come up here? Awesome. So, Aaron, you want me to call you Shaman or Aaron today? What do you prefer to be? Hold on. Let me unmute you really quickly. I'm gonna make you a moderator here. Giving you the megaphone and making you a moderator so that you also have the power to unmute other people as well.
Okay.
Cool.
Hear me?
All right. So, Shaman, for those who aren't familiar with you and your work, why don't you tell everybody about yourself?
All right. Yeah. So my name is Shaman Messiah. I am an erotic artist, spoken word artist, filmmaker, nasty spirit, which is the reason why a lot of y'all here, all that good stuff.
All right. Well, Shaman selected several of the artists today, so when we get to a piece that he's selected, we'll ask him about it. But also, he's got some of his work featured as well. So let's start in the pavilion where your work is, Shaman. We'll go over here to Gallery 1 if you guys want to follow me over this way. All right, everybody. So welcome to our gallery situation here. These are, these galleries are each being filled with like some kind of light from an alien universe, as you can see, imparting knowledge and wisdom to our ancient civilization. So we have two pieces by Shaman over here. Which one do you want to start with? Or there's three actually, technically.
We could start with this one over here. If y'all look, it's piece titled "Off the Wall." Very fitting.
Yes, indeed. So what inspired this piece?
Oh, actually, Michael Jackson did have an original album in 1978 called "Off the Wall," and kind of the first track was pretty much speaking of like escaping, the confines of life. So I really wanted to showcase, just a certain like freedom of expression, merging my style with just, the realm of the erotic. So that's how I pretty much came up with this one. Is a 3D piece, pretty much generated in Cinema 4D.
Oh, so I've noticed you've got these like super like shiny skin textures. That's really cool. Is that just, do you achieve that by just ramping up the reflectiveness of the materials?
Nah, it's just certain shaders, certain like oil textures that I like. Some I create, some I may download and place within like within the characters. I mainly use black models, so I kind of like all the time. I always want to show like a certain shine to us.
Love it. Awesome. Now, the vibe of this piece, it kind of has like the color palette and everything is like a little bit, and the hair is like that 70s vibe. Was that a deliberate choice?
Mm-hmm. It was pretty much derivative. The male having the do rag was kind of because I have a do rag on right now, so so it kind of just flowed nicely with it.
Got it. Awesome. And I was this minted as an NFT somewhere?
Oh yeah, I have two other pieces right here.
Well, let's what are the titles of these two?
This one was the throwback, and another the one next to it with the more gold texture was titled "The Shining."
The Shining?
Yes.
Like the film.
Yeah, yeah. Kind of
Love that.
when I put this one together, I wanted both of them to like be married in a way. You know, her
Mhm.
him giving her pleasure, then her giving him pleasure. So it was a marriage of those two.
Yeah, I just put these two together, like, to install them in the world because you can only fit so many images in these worlds before it starts to, affect people's headset performance. But so it was just functional, but I think the aesthetic of these two jumped out at me too, and I was like, these would look cool side by side. So that was deliberate too, you're saying.
Yeah, I liked it. I saw when you placed them together. I was like, oh, he got it.
There it is, man. Intuition. Well, cool, man. We really are grateful to have you as a co-curator this week. Just for everybody in the audience, we've been having guest curators because NFT Oasis is a community-driven project, and we really want to see not only what kind of work our artists have to contribute, but also what kind of artists they would like to bring into the world as well. So, if you're
Mhm.
interested in being a guest curator, feel free to send an email, the Instagram DMs, etc. We're probably going to have a new one every week, and this is our first time showcasing erotic art, and the excitement has been like palpable. Everybody was really excited about this event, so especially because a lot of artists get censored on other platforms. So I think we
Yeah.
have an opportunity to do this on a regular basis, and
Mhm.
so maybe this will become a regular event. All right, cool. Let's see. I think now, do we have Goddess Lou here, or do you want to just kind of give us a brief of her work as well?
I don't think
A
she's
sex.
here. We look through the crowd.
I didn't see her come in. So do you want to kind of tell her this piece is like her name is Lou, and in this series is like called Sex God series. Is that right? I just want to make sure I have it right.
Mhm. Correct.
What made you select this piece? These pieces.
Yeah, Lou is very new to the space. She hasn't minted any works yet, but she to me kind of just embodies sex just completely. Just her look. If you've ever met her, you could go to her Instagram and follow her. Is at Sex God Lou, and that's LU. She just has a unique look. Just radiates just that vibe of the erotic.
The ponytail and the whole layout, and I like how the aesthetic of the thing. It's like it's got that film grain texture, which is
Hmm.
something that kind of naturally has like a warmth to it.
Yeah, this
Really
just
cool.
it jumped out to me. It had just that certain mystery towards it. That it kind of draws you in. You want to find out more about her. You want to find out more about her interests. So, and that's pretty much what the erotic genre is.
Yeah, absolutely. If you guys look behind you, you'll see a work by an artist named Lisa Krieger. That's this illustration over here. I'm sending her. She's gonna try to come to the event. She was kind of like a last minute ad here, so I'm gonna forward her instructions right now, and hopefully we'll get to from her when she comes in. But I think that is all. Let's see. Are there any other artists who are here that see their work in this pavilion? I no, didn't see Nizzy. That's the work over here with the moon. Um, and is Erotica here? think so. Okay, so if anybody shows up late, we can always come back and produce their work. But for now, I think we can hop over to the next pavilion. All right, cool. So let's see. Did Andre make it?
I think Andre's been trying to get in. I'm checking my messages. I think he said he would try to show up, but he's gonna show up late.
Okay, cool.
That's all right.
Well, I know we have. And why don't you talk to us for a moment about these two pieces that Andre submitted? Because I think they're really striking and such a unique style. What made you select them?
Yeah, so Andre's pieces, I met him a while ago. He's from Canada, Quebec, but he has just always had this unique style of how he places his works together. Like it's like they look flat and then like it's like they look 2D and 3D at the same time. Um, just the body textures he always places together, the shapes, vibrant colors, and the way he displays, those emotions at the same time. Within the erotic, it just always drew me in. We and him, we sometimes we talk on the phone, we go back and forth about, who's better. Like, I always tell him like he's got a better style than me, to be honest. It's like the way he places, like just it's addictive almost.
Yeah, it's really beautiful and kind of like it manages to be very erotic without being like very sexually explicit in a way. Like I don't know.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
like you would almost if you walked by these images, they're sufficiently abstract that you wouldn't necessarily know it's erotica unless you look at it, and then you're like, oh wow, holy shit.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of Andre's work. And if y'all want to follow him, he's on Instagram and Twitter as Sex and Sandwiches. Sandwiches with no H, I think. Yeah, just sandwiches at WICHES. Sex and Sandwiches. Yeah, if you was to ever like walk by Andre's work, you would always notice like you really have to just look at every part of the piece.
Mhm. And
You'll
I've
find
seen,
like
you know,
new things.
I'm always one of my favorite things is when an artist feels like they have, coin like kind of come up with their own signature style, and
Hmm.
definitely feel like I've seen a lot of things similar, but nothing that exactly embodies like what he's doing. It's really cool. Really love it. Everybody, so have you guys figured out how to show your emojis yet? If you like a piece of art, I highly suggest showing these artists love, some applause and some heart emojis. Boom. By show of emojis, you guys into Andre? Beautiful. So we have another artist. I just hung her piece right here. You say here. Let me, Edgy. Let me unmute you real quick. I'm gonna give you the megaphone. Okay. All right. We should be able to hear you now. I'm just adjusting this. Can you hear me okay?
Now?
We can hear you. I'm going to turn my headset down so that I'm not feeding back.
Okay, yeah.
All right, cool. So, for those who aren't familiar with your work, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and what inspired this piece?
I'm Alara from Turkey, and I'm making a cut for 2 years. And this one is my one of my favorite jobs is talking about woman power for me, sexual power actually. And sorry, I'm a little bit excited. I don't know what to say, but I'm hope you like it too. And I'm not hearing anything.
Oh yeah, sorry. I muted myself because I don't. Sometimes my mic will feedback into other people's mics, so I try to mute myself when you're talking. But
Okay, I get
I
it.
really this piece jumped out at me just compositionally. Like it really is a very striking image. It would make like an amazing album cover or something. But also, I think now hearing your interpretation, saying that it's about sexual power, completely resonates. I think there's some part of every young boy or just every young person that when you are really, really attracted to somebody, you are completely in their grasp. You know what I mean? You're like you lose yourself in that process. That's this
Actually,
poor guy.
yeah, please stop. Sorry.
Again?
I was say it's not just for young people. Maybe the person on the picture is young, but I think every man feeling it.
100%. You might want to, Suez, you might want to turn your volume on your computer down just a little bit, because so that we don't get as much feedback. But
You're not hearing me. Just wait a second, please.
I can hear you, but just my voice is feeding back to your computer. You know, I agree with you. Everyone, when you're attracted to somebody, your primal brain takes over, and all of a sudden, a lot of your decision-making faculties go out the window. And I think that it's a very universal experience that you've managed to capture really well here. And I really love just your illustration style is really beautiful. Are you doing these in Procreate? Or are these digital?
They are in Adobe Photoshop.
Oh, Photoshop, great. Are you using a tablet when you illustrate?
Yeah, I'm using tablet, Wacom tablet.
You're very, very
you know
skilled.
Wacom?
Your technical ability is really, really excellent.
Yeah, thank you.
You guys like this piece? Some emojis.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, awesome. So, what have you minted any NFTs yet? Is this minted?
No,
anywhere?
not yet, but I will make one soon, and I will make more in the future.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
right. We
this
were
is
talking about it. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's talk after the event. I'd be happy to kind of do my perspective on it. I think your work is great, and I know a lot of people would want to collect it. You guys buy this piece? By show of emojis. Boom. Some fans. Awesome.
Yeah.
Where can people find you, Chueji?
I'm on the Instagram, Twitter, and BS. I can spell it if you want. My name?
Yeah, so they can see your name here. If you guys add her as a friend, you'll be able to see her name, and then it's on Instagram at chueji.art, and then I think on Twitter it's just chueji, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Okay, awesome.
Yes, like
so go follow chueji, everybody.
Thank you.
Let's see. See Lyra here. See, are there any artists in here who see their work on the wall? Just before we move on to the next pavilion here. Adding everybody. Oh. 1 second, y'all. I think that Lyra, have you managed to get your mic unmuted? Let me. Okay, cool. I'm gonna see. Oh yeah, Angelo creates. Gotcha. Oh, you're behind. You're over here, right? This is you. Okay, I'm giving you. I'm gonna unmute um everybody so y'all can let me know. Normally, I'll leave the unmute function off. Like moderation in here kind of works like Clubhouse. We have the audience and the stage and everything. And usually I leave it unmuted. This week it was a little rowdy coming in. People were like kind of excited, and I had to mute the whole audience. But now I've unmuted everybody. If everyone's like cool to be respectful. So I'm gonna give Angelo the megaphone real quick. Here you go. Um,
Hey
Angelo, for anyone who's unfamiliar with you, tell us about yourself and your work.
there. So my name's Angelo. I am a 3D. I consider myself a 3D VR artist. And I love making experiences in different aliens like this that you see here. All of my characters I make by hand on my iPad using the app called Forger. So I take a base mesh of a human and then distort it and make it as alien as I can with big cheekbones, big lips, anything that resembles some type of like body modification. All of my characters will have that. So
Fire.
this one here is my character named Tanya, and they're from outer space. They are um, just hanging out in the grass, really sexual and showing their body. They're heavily inspired by the New York club scene. The trans folk and the non-binary people that are performing and dancing back before COVID was there. So they wanted to put their body on themselves. They did their own makeup, which is really exciting to me. And so I have always tried to create some type of like different world that these characters are in, and they're always inspired by some type of real life experience that I love or love to look at. And so all my characters are always going to be this type of weird alien, non-binary character. I'm always looking to make some kind of purpley, bluish, dark experience. All of my characters right now, at least, I'm not sculpting clothes on them, so they're going to be pretty nude, but I don't really have anything else on them besides the really intense skin texture. You can't tell here, but the picture that I have is like it's super high quality. You can see all the pores in the body, the sweat glistening, and the background focus is pretty nice to me too. But I um, yeah, that's basically all. I made the background in Gravity Sketch, which is a VR app. I sculpted all the background little grass blades around there, and painted it on my computer using Substance Painter. So right now it's available on Calumet for 100 Tezos for one of one.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Give some. Let's see some emojis, y'all. Did you have a question?
Yeah, I got a question.
What's up?
Yeah, so like, how you feel when you're creating these pieces? 'Cause I always know,
Usually,
I feel like when I'm making erotic art, there's like a certain zone you tap in. So I want to know like if you're there too.
yeah, I listened a lot to like usually like Summer Walker or SZA or some type of R&B music that's usually pretty sexual anyway. So I'm not sure if that like envelops my art when I'm sculpting, but there's always some type of like vibey music happening in the background.
Uh-huh.
They all kind of get to a curvaceous point at a certain all time. Like all of my characters, if you look at my Instagram or my Twitter, they all have the hourglass that people expect to want because they're putting it on themselves. They're creating their own bodies.
Right.
It's a really interesting piece. It's very like it's got kind of like a supernatural futuristic strangeness to it that I think is kind of perfectly aligned with the NFT Oasis aesthetic. We're all about
Thank you.
futurism here, and I think it's an
Mhm.
interesting thing to explore, just like human identity, particularly as the metaverse expands and our experiences become more digitized, and as human identity becomes much more expansive. Like there's a lot of implications there that are fascinating to discuss.
Mhm.
Yeah, thank you. I also have this character fully rigged and in a GLP format. So if one day we ever can get this walking around, I can animate it to be walking in front of us in alt space. So
Badass.
let me know if you ever
Yeah.
want to do something like that. The character is less than like 6 megabytes, so
Yeah, if you could get it to us as a OBJ file, or like I know Greg
Yeah.
can make that happen. So let's talk
Awesome.
about that.
Cool.
And that
Like
goes for
that.
all of our 3D animators too. Like we can you know, if we're talking about building like a, you know, Sex and the Metaverse world, you know, as an ongoing thing for this kind of installation. So we'll need 3D models. So let's make it happen. I want to just really quickly. So Lyra is here, and we passed her piece in the last. She had a couple pieces in the last pavilion. So I want to just head back real quick, and do that. But before we go, Angelo, where can we find you on socials and platforms?
Yeah, you can find me on all socials at Angelo Creates for Twitter and oh, actually my Instagram's different. It's __ Angelo G. I made it before I started creating art. But if you just look at the hashtag Angelo Creates, all of my art I tag it with that. On Instagram, there's like
Awesome.
almost 200 pictures I have of all my different pictures. And also
Badass.
on Foundation, Calumet, all that stuff. It's Angelo Creates. Thanks
So
for giving me a
Angelo Creates.
platform.
Oh yeah, make some noise for Angelo, everybody. All right, and let's head back to the previous pavilion real quick. I just want to show you guys Erotica's work. All right, so these two pieces right here are from Erotica. She sent me a statement to read. She's having a difficulty with her mic, but also I think wasn't comfortable with her English as well. And you know, that's something that I really, really love about these events is that we have artists from every country around the world, and you know, so some folks obviously I appreciate English is not first language. I think it's amazing that people learn English at all. You know, when like a lot of Americans don't speak any other languages. So if you're ever not comfortable speaking, you know, you're welcome to send a statement for us to read instead. So really quickly, Lyrotica, she says, my nickname Lyrotica was coined a year ago. It's a combination of my name Lyra and the word erotica. The human body began to interest me in deep childhood. I was influenced by works of Boris Vallejo. Posters with his paintings hung in our house and my grandfather's house. It was very interesting to look at them, and I was delighted. As I grew up, my interest in painting developed. I tried a lot of different directions and topics, but in the end, I've returned exactly to the naked body. Currently in my work, the body is an object for idealization. I'm not interested in drawing just typical nudity with sexual connotations. It's boring. I like to see interesting details in female forms, which my brain interprets in its own way and turns into what you see now. To add irony and humor to some of my works. No deep meaning in my works. They just have an idea. Usually the idea is very simple. That's what I like. The simpler the idea, the greater the audience imagination, and the more the viewer can see the meaning in the picture. It's always interesting to observe how people interpret the same picture in different ways. So I totally get that. I love that, and I think that really reads from these pieces. You know, this image of the woman with her hair flame. Obviously, fire is something that people use as an imagery with sex a lot. You know, think about like, you know, Fever, that song, you know, by Peggy Lee. She looks like, you know, what a lovely way to burn, right? She's she's like totally inflamed at this moment, but I love the fact that she's like pulling her own hair in this motion. But ultimately, these pieces very much they both stuck out to me because they are very kind of simple compositionally, and I really appreciate when an artist is able to zero in on a very specific subject, not be afraid to treat it very simply and like with a lot of skill. So love just the shading techniques and the simplicity. Like both of these images really just jump out at you. So make some noise for Lyrotica, everybody. Super cool. She's standing over here, so feel free to send her a friend request as well. And Lyra, if you're having trouble unmuting yourself, you might try hitting Control and clicking on your screen. If you hit Control and click on your screen, then you can unmute your mic. But if you're having trouble with your mic, I don't know what the specific issue is. But anyway, we're really pleased to have you. Thank you for being with us today. Just really, really talented artist, and I'm sure this won't be the last time we're showing your work. All right, guys, we can head back over to the next pavilion. Bouncing around a little bit today, but hey, appreciate that everybody's willing to kind of like go with the flow in these events. Shaman, I didn't see Donatrix here. Do you want to briefly introduce her work?
Yeah. So I
So
know
this is
this
called
piece.
the divine
Hmm.
feminine, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the divine feminine. It is on Foundation on Crypto Matrix. I believe it's already been collected, but she has another piece as well on her foundation. Um, so I chose her because she's a very she's a great voice within like the sex worker and the erotic art community, but also she has she has a pretty big task like on her shoulders as far as essentially being a leader within this. So I thought it was important to showcase her work. The recent ban on sex work on OnlyFans, I think it was incredibly vital that she be featured this week.
Yeah, I can't imagine that's gonna last forever, but like what a weird thing. And it just seems like crypto is the perfect solution. Like literally OnlyFans moved explicit content because they couldn't find a payment processor. Like all the the banking people that they were using for their payments were demanding that they not. So uh, we still see, some pretty regressive attitudes, in the business world. They're kind of surprising, given that like porn has basically driven the entire internet since its
Mhm.
since its inception. It's kind of weird that we are still here. But I hope they get that sorted out, and I think it was great that you selected her work for that reason. Really cool image. I love the contrast between the black and white image and all the colors. It's very skillfully done.
Mhm.
So Cryptonatrix on Foundation. Anybody's interested? You can maybe. I know this piece has been collected, but maybe you can go find the collector and outbid them. uh, we have a couple other pieces in here. The work behind over here is by Boris. The lady lying in the daisies goes by Visual Remix. And I thought Boris was maybe going to be here today, but I guess not. And then have I see King Mallard. All right. And then this is an artist called Botch Dolls over here on the wall. I don't think he's here either today. So we can move on to the next gallery. Okay. We've got I know Jeff no, let's see. I know Joshua's here. Um maybe start with his piece.
How y'all doing?
Good, good. Okay, so
Going on?
Josh, I'm gonna give us a second. I'm gonna give you the megaphone here.
Gotcha.
All right.
Give me a second. Sorry, flying all around like up and down with it.
Words.
How
So for
y'all
any
doing?
good, good, man. For anybody who's not familiar with you, tell us about yourself.
Uh, so my name is Joshua Griffler. Um, Usually go by JGriff120 all over the internet. Yeah, thanks for showing another piece. Been gone about a month on the road, so it's great to be back with you guys. Um, this piece is from a 2014 project I did that really stems the time from when I moved from New York City to the Bay Area. Jessica Pace, who I've worked with over multiple decades, probably at least 20 years, actually playing me here. And this represents, or this is a piece where I actually had um, 8 different skateboards as part of this piece. There were video components of this project. Um, and really what stands out, besides the sexual nature of her, is her wanting to escape who she was and where she was trapped, and how she felt in her environment. We were able to sell a couple hundred skateboards, and we showed in a few different places, head shops in San Francisco, a skate shop in Redwood City, showed the entire project, which was really exciting. And It was me trying to escape and trying to find my way in the Bay. Jessica has taken turns playing me, and I've played her for many years. Yeah. It's currently on the Matic blockchain over at Cargo, where my early NFTs I started on Rarible, and I had a band that I was helping onboard through Make an NFT, which is our site that I'm trying to help artists get going making NFTs. And the band was very concerned about for ETH switched over to ETH2 about with proof of stake and just environment stuff. So I ended up on the Matic chain, just looking to keep going.
I love it. Well, it's a great work, and like it really immediately jumped out at me compositionally. I love the colors. And it really kind of it's like just abstract enough. You kind of like need to take a while to take it all in, but there's also some like clear, distinct imagery that's very evocative. So really cool, man. I love it.
Well, thank you. The colors represent my son, who's in that light blue, and then the pink was my daughter, who was coming in hot. And at the time, we had just got there, and I felt very isolated. So Never Alone in Marin is a full project that just delves into that isolation and escapism.
Cool, man. Awesome. And where you said it was on Cargo?
Currently on the Cargo network, yes.
All right, cool. I love it. Make some noise for Joshua, everybody.
Thank you kindly.
Boom, boom, boom.
Appreciate
Thanks for
y'all.
being here. There's a couple artists that are new to showing with us today. I want to just briefly introduce. Over here, this is Jason E. Beyer. You'll notice that he's like successful on Super Rare and Foundation. Does these really really insane, evocative images with these like super shiny textures. Recommend you go check his work out. There's just some really extremely skillful 3D design, and I wanted to make sure that we had some pieces that were not cis heteronormative pieces represented in this exhibit. Super cool. Over here, I don't think Michael is here, but there's an artist named Michael Draws. He does these like really intimate kind of like bedroom like portraits, which I love. It's just kind of like these intimate moments between couples, which I think is super beautiful and kind of just takes you back to childhood. You know, has some like it feels like very like adolescent or something, like your first love. And then over here we have an artist named Nicholas Medina who does these like cool kind of anime style pieces, and these subtitles are super great. Couldn't choose between these pieces, so I put them both in here. There's life doesn't get easier, you just get stronger over here, and I love that she's like holding this mask and a samurai sword. It's just kind of perfectly evocative. I don't know what it says, but it says, I think that, it just hits me, makes sense to me. And then also I do a thing called What I Want, which I also appreciate that, So I think these images are very like kind of empowering to me. I think that they both kind of have a certain something. We have Juliana here. This is your piece back here on the other wall, right?
Yes, it is.
I'm gonna do the mic. One sec. All right. So Juliana, we've showed your work a few times before, if I'm not mistaken. Why don't you? But there are some people who probably don't know you, so why don't you tell us about yourself?
So, hi everybody. Are you guys listening me well?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I am Juliana. I'm a graphic designer based in Brazil. I've been doing NFTs now for 4 or 5 months. Now I lost count already. It seems like a lifetime. And actually, Jesse, this is one of my first NFTs minted on Space, and this is called New Desirable. And it's not a piece that I've done recently. It's actually a photo manipulation scene I did back a few years ago, and I cannot remember when. But you guys know I like to spoil pleasure for everybody. So this is a kind of a harsh criticism that I've made regarding female sexuality and how men sometimes are so concerned about their own pleasure that they made women like their um, sex slaves or even slaves and emotionally and mentally and everything. And the only way we can satisfy men sometimes is if we become androids, then they can do whatever they want. And if you see the detail on her arm, she is already like doing some curd circuit or something like that. She's kind of about to blow up. So it's about the lack of concern about female pleasure in a sexual relationship and in a love relationship, emotional relationships. And this piece was actually censorship by Twitter, and I don't know if that's the reason that I lost my former account, but yeah, it was there was some censorship with this one. So now that I'm promoting again, I am taking care and put some, redacting the piece with the nipples, and everything. So yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah,
It's okay.
this is
It's
made in
okay to like.
Photoshop.
It's really great. I love the style and I think your messaging behind the piece is also really awesome. Um,
Thank you.
I'm sorry that you had your Twitter account banned. That's so annoying.
I
It's really
lost I
it's
lost 1,000 followers.
Yeah, I mean, it's really, I hope we can do this more in here. And Altspace, I think, is decided, they've been really cool about this today. This was kind of a last minute exhibit that we threw together. But if we create a world that's all about erotica, hopefully, I think it'll just be able to be gated, which would be fine. Just
Can
so
tell
there's
you
not,
that I'm very sorry. I'm very excited to have this more often here in NFT Oasis because I have this project because in Odyssey, which is my nickname on social media, is not just about me. My boyfriend and I, we're doing. He's also an artist, and we are like building a space for doing his sculpture and short films and things more sex vibes. So I hope
yeah, I'm,
I can exhibit more pieces then.
Oh, well, yeah. Let's definitely. I think the response has been immediate and emphatic from everybody. So I'm sure this will not be the last erotic exhibit we do, and it's a much a needed thing because the idea that you have censorship on other platforms. Like, I mean, I can only speak to my culture growing up in America. It was so strange to me. We were allowed to watch like acts of horrific violence on television all the time, but as soon as you see a nipple,
Yeah,
all of a sudden that's not safe for children. um, and
exactly.
it's this very strange holdover from like our puritanical roots that like America was by people who were literally like too conservative for the Church of England. They were like too weird and repressed to even be tolerated in Europe. So they just got on a ship and sailed over to America and started murdering everyone so that they could have their weird repressive culture. And obviously, we've
Yeah.
still held on to some of those things. So um, I appreciate that we're able to have this experience where we're all like having this freedom of expression here. Um, and I love with the message behind your piece because I do think in our culture, young men. I can only speak to my own experience, but like young men, we have a lot of like very confusing messages around sex. There's this like puritanical repression we encounter. Then there's also this like glut of pornography that's now available, to young people, and that is very confusing for the young mind to process. And a lot of like, not entirely feminist messages that are being conveyed in that stuff, and also in our culture in general, like men are not necessarily taught from a young age and how to about consent and about how to, please your partner. Those things aren't necessarily privileged, and so it's something that people have to
Yeah.
discover on their own. So I think it's important for artists like yourself to consistently, putting those messages out there for people to find.
Yeah. And this piece is not sold yet. It's on Mintable. And if you guys want to check it out, there's my Twitter. It's actually the first, my first post on Instagram. My Instagram is Odyssey Digital Art, and my Twitter is NFT Odyssey. So it's still on sale. It's on my pin tweet, and I would love if someone could grab it because it's one of my first NFTs ever.
Awesome.
Cool
Well,
question.
somebody go cop this image on you said Mintable?
Yeah, Mintable.
Mintable. Awesome. Cool. So, and then Juliana, when they find you on socials, is it with an X?
I'm sorry, with an N of NFT.
No, no,
In
no, no. I
Odyssey,
mean,
I don't use my name on my handles.
okay, gotcha. Okay, cool. All right, cool. Well, make some noise for Juliana, everybody.
Thank you, guys.
There was one more piece over here. This is by Christine. Couldn't make it because it was a last minute invite, but she goes by Stylist Foolish on Instagram, and her work is super cool too. So we're gonna definitely do this exhibit again. We'll have all the artists come back, and maybe we can just kind of do this maybe we could make it like a Friday night thing or something. It seems like there's enough work. We could have an erotic exhibit on a regular basis. Let's pop over to the next pavilion here. All right. So we have a couple here. I saw King Mallard come in. And I know Minnie and Chuck are here. Let's see. Okay, we got Minnie and Chuck. Let's do Minnie and Chuck first. So these two pieces here are the piece on the right here is a collaboration between me and Chuck, who you'll both hear come through one avatar today. And then Minnie's also a photographer, so we've got one of her pieces over here as well. Let me give them the mic. All right.
You hear us?
Yes, now everybody should be able to hear you.
All right. Hello.
Hey. So tell us about Mad Meat Art.
First of all, Chuck's a photographer. And
Oh, okay.
I'm the art director. And
The stuff with the Barbie dolls makes us laugh. I think that everyone, as a young child, used to like put their dolls or stuffed animals in compromising positions, and we just sort of took that to another level, another extreme.
Definitely. It very much jumped out at me, like made me laugh right away when I saw your guys' account. And I appreciate it because I think, it's important to interject humor into the conversation about sex now and then.
Yes.
So tell us about this piece. What's going on in here?
well, it's called What's for Dinner. So, so it kind of, it sort of speaks volumes. We do a lot of it's all photography art, and we do a lot of bondage stuff as well as
Well,
for the dolls.
yeah, we do a lot of sexually explicit things with the dolls. We've also created other products like lamps that use Barbie dolls, and all of our stuff is on display at the Erotic Heritage Museum in Las Vegas. And of course, our website is madmeat.com. You can see all the stuff there as well. And
Admeat.com. Amazing. So when I install the pieces in these worlds, when I do them on the alt space layer, it gets a little bit heavy sometimes. So I had to go through and delete some photographs earlier, but I wanted to spawn this one and show everybody. This one cracked me up. This was pertaining to sex during COVID, and thought it was really funny. What's this piece called?
I don't think it's formally named.
How about COVID 101?
There it is.
Yeah. Wrapped her up in cellophane.
Yeah, we did a whole series of during COVID with the dolls, which really made us laugh.
I love it. Love it. It's so funny. Because I just feel for particularly like single people who aren't partnered up, and there's so many like logistical nightmares surrounding trying to like meet people during COVID that are just completely unsexy. You know?
Yes.
Really funny. This one's clear. Really getting a reaction from the crowd.
That's great. And we also have all of the Instagram and Etsy and TikTok, and those are under Mad Meat or Mad Meat Art.
Mad Meat Art, awesome.
We got knocked
Could be
off
turn
of
your head and
TikTok
cough.
with the Barbie dolls. We had to cover their breasts and readjust, and we couldn't put all the prints that we wanted.
Oh my gosh, man! As if like
For TikTok, because of
it's so weird because you can when you buy a Barbie doll, it's naked. Like so strange. Okay, well, what about this piece? Is this just you, or did Chuck take this photograph?
Chuck's the photographer, so I just
Oh,
placed
cool.
everyone, and we developed the concept together. It's our version of the Last Supper, and we named it Feast of the Apocalypse.
Feast of the Apocalypse. Wow, love it.
All of the women were photographed individually and then photoshopped together.
Yeah.
Oh, I can see why that would be the move. Getting this many people to pose perfectly without somebody closing their eye would be a nightmare.
Yeah. Yeah, and then the background is actually from a German cathedral. And of course, we added all the detail and everything else.
Amazing. And where did the models come from?
Well, we work in Las Vegas, and Minnie has worked as a choreographer for years, and so these are all dancers from Vegas shows.
Oh, amazing. Cool. So I'm glad I asked. I knew there was a story there.
Yeah.
What kind of shows do you choreograph, Minnie?
So, well, we own an event entertainment company, but I used to choreograph ice shows, dance shows. I worked for Carnival for 10 years. I was president of productions for Ice Capades. We come from the entertainment business, and I also owned a newspaper, an audition paper in Las Vegas called Callback at one point for about 20 years. And during that time, Chuck worked as the editor, and he's a fabulous photographer. And I got this idea about Barbie dolls, and that's how it started about 10 years ago. We just decided to do started as a hobby and then became a business.
I love it. Have you guys done any Mad Meat Art NFTs?
No, we're still sort of new to the NFT world, so we're still learning about all that.
Cool. Well, maybe we'll have to talk about it. I'm sure I definitely think there's going to be an audience for your NFTs as well.
I hope so. That would be great.
That would be fabulous.
All right, cool. So Mad Meat Art on all socials?
Yeah, Mad Meat or Mad Meat Art on all socials.
Very cool. All right, y'all. Make some noise for Minnie and Chuck.
Well, thank you all.
Thank you. Oh, I love seeing those emojis. Yay! Yay!
Hey, your work is resonating.
Yes, that's fabulous.
Okay, let's see. We've got I saw King Mallard come in. We've got piece over here by the sarcophagus.
Right.
Let me give you the megaphone. Moderate, King Mallard. Okay. Megaphone. So this is King Mallard, otherwise known as Jared Blue. Do you prefer Jared or?
Either is fine.
Okay, cool. So this is a few of your pieces feathered together here. It's animated images are kind of funny in here, so it's challenging to arrange them. But tell us about yourself and your work. I love that you do these amazing. I'm assuming you're doing this with projections, right?
Yeah, it's actually I'm on a computer, so I don't know what it's showing up for y'all, but it's just it allows you to log into AltSpace, et cetera, et cetera. So I don't know what's actually shown right now.
Oh God, okay, so check it out. Sometimes there's updates that'll come out that are a little funky with compatibility. So I have a couple of your pieces playing here, but I'm gonna have another JPEG version that I'm just gonna spawn so that you're able to look at it. Hold on one sec. Just the
black screen as well.
building the metaverse right now, so everything's a little bit held together with duct tape and glue, you know? This is, can you see that?
I can see that one.
Right.
Boom. Awesome. So talk to us about your work.
Yeah, basically this is a project I've been creating for a few years now called Light Baths, where I bathe people in bright lights from my projectors. It's a combination of different patterns that I'll create, projecting onto people, or textures that I'll take photos of, whether it's like different wood grain or cityscapes or things like that, or things that are more personal to the participant. But essentially, the concept is about creating safe places for people to feel really strong, confident in their body. So people come in, dressed to their comfort level, and then they're just completely consumed with these incredibly bright projectors. So it's almost this kind of like cathartic experience, almost as if you were like at a party wearing a mask. And you could feel a little bit more free to pose how you would want or act how you would want. Yeah, so that is the project. Again,
I love it.
This one was actually. Oh, go on.
So it looks like you're using a very high quality projector, is that right? There's none, doesn't seem to be any pixelation.
This one's actually with two projectors. So I have a projector hitting the background and then a projector hitting her from the side as well. And this is from an event I did. So I'll create these as installations for different art events or showings. So it's kind of like anyone attendants can come in and try a light bath for themselves besides just being private sessions. So this was at an event on beginning of July. It was like one of the first parties that opened up in New York. And this was just kind of like separate side room. I created a private space for people, and this person came in and
So cool. So these people are just coming to the party expecting to see an exhibit, and then they're just performing for them.
Yeah, I feel like it's kind of forcing the hand a little bit of when you're in attendance at an event, you are part of the event. Like it's more than the artwork or the artists or the performers, just and showing up, you become a part of that event. So by having people come in and actually get to participate in art, I feel like that's like a really wonderful experience. Sometimes if I'm at like a really just space or something that has really interesting textures, project specifically textured environment onto people. I was part of an art fair that was held at the Pfizer building in New York, and that's like run down, I mean, functioning and working, but like chemical building. So I was projecting giant bug zappers on people and deteriorating walls and oil spills and all sorts of things. But it turns into these magic canvases onto people's bodies. And this person in particular, provided we're looking at the same thing, she is a performer and a contortion artist and like very comfortable. The majority of the people that I work with have never posed before, let alone posed to. And it's a very new process to them. So by giving them this space, it allows them to kind of see themselves in this confident and nice light. Yeah.
That's really cool, man. And I love what you said about the way that performance art kind of like the event becomes like the attendees become part of the event. I used to do these immersive exhibits through a party called Cosmic Prom in Los Angeles, where it was like very futuristic, and we had these immersive performance groups walking around the event, just doing really crazy shit that was designed to put people like slightly off balance, and it created this air of anarchy in the air a little bit, which just found really elevated everyone's experience. You know, the party becomes a performance that we're all co-creating together.
Absolutely, those are the best.
Love it, man. Well, where can we find you on socials?
You could find me at King Mallard, like King of the Ducks, on Instagram, and I believe Jared Blue Art on Twitter, but I could be wrong. If you search King Mallard, you'll find it. Find hunters.
Just for everybody, Jared's name is spelled Jarid. Just if you're looking for him, Jared Blue Mallard.
Yeah, and I actually minted my first 3 NFTs a few weeks ago. Those are on Unique Fans. They're specifically trying to create an NFT environment of not safe for work NFTs. So again, I don't know what I guess moving images you're having displayed, but a couple of them are from that series.
Love it. Unique Fans. Gas.
Links, you can find it on the bio of my Instagram.
Oh yeah. All right. Make some emojis for Jared Blue, everybody. King Mallard. Creatress, we have a piece of yours over here on the wall.
Hey, how's it going? Can you hear me okay?
Good. Yeah.
Everyone.
Let me give you the microphone real quick. Okay. Go ahead.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah. So Creatress has been one of our guest curators as well, and she's shown with us several times. This is her version of erotica. Love it.
Yeah, this
Tell us
is
about the piece.
it's titled Ikatala, which translates to clitoris in the Kosha language, which is primarily spoken in Zimbabwe. Yeah, I kind of wanted it to be something really kind of anatomically based. So I did look at like an actual anatomy photo to make this, and then kind of took some liberties. Yeah, it's essentially what you see underneath, or what is underneath. Um, and it's actually kind of how we all start. So I guess when the fetus is developing, everyone kind of has this setup, and for males, it would grow from little pink spot you can see, and that's where it would continue growing. But this would be for females. So that's do you have any questions?
Yeah, it's super cool. Is there? It looks like you've got. So this is made in 3D, obviously, and then it looks like you have like an HDRI map that's giving the reflections. It looks almost like pyramids or something. That.
Oh yeah. I did make it in VR. I used Gravity Sketch, and yeah, the reflection is it's kind of like a nature photograph. It's not of pyramids, but the way that it came out reflected, it makes it look like it, which honestly I really enjoy.
That's really cool. Yeah, it's a very like kind of the image is very peaceful, you know, and it's kind of like futuristic and anatomical at the same time. It's really cool, and I think it's really interesting. I mean, what a wonderful thing, the human body, huh? It's fascinating that we all start
Yeah.
out with the same equipment, and then just our hormones cause us to differentiate.
Definitely. Just so you guys know, this is actually an animation, or there's motion to it. So if you guys see it on, it's on Calumet, just so you know. If you go and see it on that page, it's about a 20-second. So it actually, I zoom in so you can look at it really up close, look at it from the bottom, from the side, and you can really see like the 3D aspects of it, since modeled after actual 3D organs. So yeah.
Creation on Calumet, y'all. I'm gonna go check this out. Is it available for sale?
Yes, it is. Yep, it is.
Cool. Alright.
It is on there, and I believe it's. I can't remember exactly how much I set it at, but it's about, I believe, 50 Tez.
Badass.
Thank you.
Well,
Appreciate you
everybody
guys.
go to Calumet and check out Great Justice. Yeah, I think I think that's everybody in this pavilion. I didn't see Rid Art is this artist over here on the wall. So which is cool, but yeah, he's got a very interesting illustration style. Hopefully, you'll be able to attend the next event that we do. But I think we can head over to the last pavilion. I think that's all we have for today. We've got. Oh wow, is there a person back there? Wow, I thought somebody was popping back up. Okay, so let's see. We've got Jaman. This was Ty Lord, right? Is that how he goes? Socials?
I can't see that.
Yes.
Oh, got it. Sorry, guys. So anybody? Yeah. Okay. Bummer. Sorry. Anybody who's on a Mac, I guess. Are you guys on Mac or PC?
I'm on
PC.
I can't see it.
Yeah. Well. So in VR, it's a cool animation. I guess it's not. The animations aren't showing on PC right now. Altspace keeps updating their platform, and then every time there's an update, like some things won't show up. But really cool animation by an artist named Tyler. Check it out next time. And then we've got 3D Ninja submitted this piece over here. That's really cool looking. I like the kind of like warmth radiating from inside the human body. It reminds us that we're all flesh and blood on the inside. Really cool looking. And then we have here is it Zena Ocho? Is that how you say your name? Tina?
Hey, sorry.
Good, all good.
What did you say? I couldn't hear. Sorry.
Oh, here, let me give you the megaphone really quick. Let's go check out. Love to hear about your piece here.
Hey.
Megaphone. Okay. Cool.
Okay.
So is it how do you say your name? Is it Zena Ocho?
China or Tina.
China. I gotcha. Okay, China Ocho. So yeah, tell us about yourself and your work.
Okay. I'm an illustrator from Argentina. I mostly make comics. So most of my artworks are inspired by scenes of comics, and I like to make art that feels like kind of erotic, but also kind of disgusting or gross. So I like to mix those things, those concepts, and also that feels funny. For this piece, I got inspired last year. While how do you say, like, pandemic, where we're on shutdown.
Right? Lockdown, yeah.
Okay, lockdown. Okay, sorry. Sure. And I imagine how it felt to be on the apocalypse, and I don't know, this piece about that, how imagine the apocalypse would be.
It's really great. This piece, just so you know, like a lot of people were really excited about this today. Like when I opened the doors right at 11, it was already full. Like people were running around, and when I walked in, there were several people gathered around your piece talking about it because I think it really grabbed their attention. And they were pointing out the cat, how the cat is like disgusted by the pizza. um, then you have like the lady, she's like egging her dude who seems to be inside of another guy, and he's like looking at his phone.
Yeah.
You see this
Yeah.
pandemic on on the window, and there's aliens outside destroying things. You've managed to condense a lot of imagery into one picture. It's really great.
Yeah, I like to like the piece feels like a comic, like it tells a story, and that there's a lot I like to make the piece, and I don't know how to say it, sorry. That it feels like there's a lot going on, and you can like look and recognize different scenes on the same piece.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
they're not full concentrated on having sex, but they are all kind of distracted and a lot of stuff at the same time.
Yeah, absolutely. It's great. Like your style is so like it's rich, and I think the subject matter, I everybody here in the room can relate to feeling of like chaos and just the apocalyptic quality of how it felt when lockdowns first started around the world. Everybody was all trapped inside, and like, what do we have to entertain us? Television, sex, food, and animals. you know, and you've managed to smash them all into the same image.
Yeah.
So where can we find you on socials? Is this minted as an NFT?
Sorry, can you repeat? Because
Oh, is this piece an NFT?
Yeah, it's in Iket Nung Hen. I think it's sold out on primary, but still available some editions on secondary.
Awesome.
Also have another piece in foundation, but mostly on Hen.
Very cool. Well, so Hickett Nunk, they can find you at China Ocho, XINAOCHO.
Sorry.
Oh, so your name here, China Ocho, that's what they should look. That's your handle. That's what they should look for on Hickett Nunk.
That's the same. Yeah, that's the same name in every platform.
Well, I love your work, and thank you for being here. It's really great to have you. Hopefully, get to
Thank
show
you for
your work
inviting me.
more and more. Yeah. Okay, this is great. So I think there's one more artist who I just want to tell you guys about who was not able to be here. I wanted to show a couple of her pieces that don't no, they're not exactly erotic, but they are very beautiful. If you were at Artwalk a little while ago, you might recognize her style. Her name is Chigo. She's a Nigerian immigrant to Cyprus, and she makes these very, very beautiful illustrations on her iPhone, which is totally amazing to me. I can't imagine being able to create on such a tiny screen. But Chigo has, these are two new NFTs that are dropping. I believe they're on Foundation. And I got a chance to interview Chigo this week. And me and Keaton, my co-curator, spoke to her over Zoom. So we'll be putting that interview out soon. But she's just really like such a perfect case study to me about why NFTs are amazing. Because she said she spent her last money to mint her first NFT, and she didn't even have a computer to work with. She was like building on her iPhone. Now she's selling her art in the thousands of dollars, and to me that's just like such an empowering story, and I think should be instructive to all the creatives out there who are looking for a new way to build an audience and meet people from around the world. MC Hammer retweeted her work last week, so just to make such a impact in such a short amount of time is so cool to me. So we love Chigo. We love all you guys. We really appreciate this artist community that we're building here, and it's really great to have you guys in the mix. And hopefully, we'll just keep getting to do our things. That'll conclude our exhibit for the day. But if anybody has work they want to show, feel free to submit to community@nftoasis.co. And if you want to be a guest curator, feel free to email us there. My email is jesse@nftoasis.co, or you can DM me on Instagram, call a ghost. I encourage all the artists here to friend each other around the room and tap the friend request button so you guys can all be here on AltSpace. This exhibit will be up for the next week until Artwalk happens again. So you can bring your friends back if you like. And if you are an erotic artist and you want to get involved in putting together the permanent exhibition that we'll start to have on a regular basis, hit me up about that too. All right, everybody. Thanks again. Signing off at the NFT Oasis. It's been a pleasure as always. We'll see you next Saturday at the same time, noon PST every Saturday. My name's Caught a Ghost. Cheers. Well.
I have a question.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Question?
Or two questions.
Sure, Mark the Shark.
Hello. How's it going?
What's happening?
What's up?
I'm gonna unamplify myself so we can all just talk.
Okay.
Okay, hold on. What's your question?
My first NFT gallery.